So a little bit earlier in the video we talked about what I feel is the overkill of number of sounds that you're given these days. In reality we don't need as many sounds as we're offered, but obviously people like to think that they've got that many sounds. Now the RS1000e offers you well over 400 different sounds of all different types and genres, and of course we can mix and match the sounds together and layer different sounds together. But in reality you don't need thousands of sounds, because on the Ringway here we've got a very easy to use voice edit system, And I just want to give you a very quick example of how we can transform a sound and make in effect a completely brand new sound. I've taken just the grand piano voice, which is like this. Now that's fine, we can use it as it is, but we may want a slightly different type of piano tone. Well, to access the voice edit, you just press the relevant button that you've got selected, in this case the piano one there, and you see a series of controls comes up at the bottom of the screen. Most importantly, it says 1/3. It means it's the first of 3 pages of editing. And let's just have a quick look at some of the controls. The first one here that's highlighted says volume. Well, you may say, well, you already mentioned we've got a volume control at the side of each section, but that jumps up and down in quite large increments. It's just for on-the-fly volume changes. If you really want to fine-tune it, then we highlight the volume slider and we can either turn the wheel or use the up and down buttons to absolutely fine-tune that volume setting there. The next one along says brilliance, and that will alter the brightness, if you like, of the sound. So we can make it brighter or more mellow. We have a pan control, and we can decide whether it goes to the right hand speaker or the left hand speaker. Again, particularly useful when you're mixing more than one sound together, because you may want one sound to come from one side and one side to come from the other. The next one is the footage of the sound. So it's at standard pitch at the moment. We can take it down an octave, take it down 2 octaves. We can go up 1 octave or up 2 octaves. So again, although we've got a 61 note keyboard, we can actually create the full 88 note keyboard. You have touch sensitivity, the amount of touch. You have things like reverb. Let's go on to the next page. We've got things like attack, decay and release. These are standard editing features on sounds. Things like release is actually sustain. So if we add a little bit of release onto it, we've now got some sustain. So the note lingers on when we let go. Let's take that back to where it was. We have some vibrato controls. Obviously that's not appropriate to the piano voice, but if we're using an orchestral voice, we can adjust the vibrato there. Let's go on to the next page, because here we find a control called cutoff frequency. Now, it doesn't matter what it is, it's a technical sounding name. Actually, it's a tone control. And the standard setting is 64. If I take that number down, you just hear how the piano really mellows down in tone. So now we've got a really, really mellow piano. The opposite would be true. If we take it higher than 64, we can get a really nice bright piano, like a little rock and roll piano. So although we've got a few different pianos to choose from, actually just using that simple slider, we can create literally 50, 60 different piano sounds as you want them. And once you store them in a preset, it remembers that particular setting. So we can do this with all the voices. If it was a trumpet, we could have a mellow trumpet, a more bright trumpet. Choice is yours, and it's very, very easy to do.